Welcome back to the Off-Grid Homestead. Tom
and Tammy's Off-Grid Homestead.
Episode 62. He is richest who is content with the least, for content is the wealth of nature.
Tom has Madrone. Is it deadly? Do I?
It's another wonderful day on the homestead. We just went on a little tour going up into the upper property a little bit. Went up to the spring, the year-round spring that feeds the cistern and provides us with irrigation and utility water. That's not our drinking water. We established that with our water tests. If you haven't seen that, you can go back to the video. It's in our library about our water tests. We finally completed our water test the other day. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about some of our trees on the property. We got the red alder, which have lost all their leaves. Right? We have oak. There's an oak tree. There's an oak tree up here that lost their leaves. But you can see all these other broadleaf tree plants growing. All right. They're mixed in with the conifers, the western red cedar, the fir, the ponderosa. But these, they call them Madrone. They're a broadleaf tree that they're evergreen. Kinda, in a way, the leaves remind me a little bit of a rhododendron. Small ones. But Madrone loves the sun. So just like the red alder, they're a nitrogen fixer. So if you go through the forest, if you're going to do like a back to Eden garden, if you understand the way nature works, generally what ends up happening is if you have a forest fire that comes through, right, the first thing that comes up is the grasses, and then the brush will come up. If you ever been into a clear cut area, you'll see all kinds of grass come up, all kinds of brush come up, and they create like leaves and their own matter, and they die back to the ground, and eventually they start making topsoil. And then you've got the trees. The trees would come next. So first you would have grass and shrubs, and then you would have the leaves with the grass and the shrubs, and then that would all die back eventually, and it keeps growing and growing and dying back, growing and growing and dying back, which creates topsoil. And then after that you would end up with trees, right? So here we have what they call Madrone, right? And the family of tree that these Madrones are in, you only find them on the Pacific coast, predominantly the Pacific Northwest. So British Columbia, Vancouver, Washington, Oregon, Northern California, along the coast generally. They do grow a little bit inland on the mountains, but they predominantly like Mediterranean type climates, and their relatives in southern Europe and the Mediterranean is the same type of plant in the same family, but they like wet winters and dry summers, and they generally will grow in like sandy soil. So these that we have, they call them Madrone, the type of plant, and they're evergreen. They don't lose their leaves, every 1 to 2 years they'll drop their leaves, but they don't drop them all, and they stay green all winter. They're pretty good. They're good for like veneers, wood veneer, flooring, furniture. The thing that you got to keep in mind though is the wood likes to twist as it dries. It doesn't like to stay straight. And you can see the way they grow. They're not a very straight forming plant. And what they're doing is they're looking for the sun. They're sun-loving plants. They're very, it's a very, 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 very hard wood. Once it dries, it's like cutting a rock. Very, very hard wood. It's very unbelievable if you like to smoke meats. Since we've been on the homestead, that's predominantly what I'm cooking our barbecue and our meats on is Madrone wood. It's very much like a mesquite wood, but it's not. Very, very, very good. We've cooked lots of like chicken, ribs. I'll smoke it like for 4 or 6 hours. Unbelievable, unbelievable good, good taste. It's a little bit spicy, it's a little bit sweet. It's harder than oak. So if you're used to like oak wood, so it's harder than oak. It burns cleaner than oak, right? From where I'm originally from, would want to burn oak. So this it creates less ash than oak, and it burns hotter than oak, and it burns longer. It's very, 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 very good firewood, and an unbelievable smoking wood. If you haven't ever had barbecue cooked over Madrone, it's like to die for. Great smoking wood. So what ends up happening is if there's a forest fire, right? Once again, the grasses, the brush, that dies back down, comes back up, dies back down, and then you start getting the brush and the trees, right? And then eventually you start getting the conifers and the evergreens. You got to think about that when you're planting your garden. If you can't plant plants in like pure wood chips, they won't grow. That's why you generally have to have compost. But yeah. If you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to our channel. You don't want to miss if I fall on this hill walking down the snow. Right? You don't want to miss that. You don't want to miss the mishaps. Right? Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the like. Right? We really appreciate it. Let us know what you want to see. But yeah, the Madrone, you can see they're growing in between. They don't grow generally underneath the conifers or the western red cedars and the fir trees and the ponderosas and that type of thing. If they are, they were there first and the other trees grew up within them. So that's another thing, the relationship with trees. You got the red alder, which is a nitrogen fixer, and basically there's microbes and bacteria that like that type of wood and environment. That feeds the soil, brings nitrogen into the soil. If there's ever a forest fire or a clear cut and there's water, that's one of the first trees that will come in. You can notice in this gulch, right? The stream bed, you can hear the water running. They're the first ones that come up. They die back. They fall to the ground. They rot. They create nutrients for other plants. All right. You got the Madrone, which is a sun-loving plant. Basically holds the soil back with its roots. Madrones don't like to be transplanted. There's a relationship between them and the bacteria that's in their soil. They like that, and if you try to transplant them, they'll die. Right? And then you've got the cedars. Western red cedar likes water. We've talked about those in the past. Right? Some of them can live up to what, 1,000 years old or thousands of years old. But like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let us know what you like, you don't like. Let us know when we're wrong. Some of you have made some comments. I got a Poseidon ball. Siren thing up here. You can see the water running. I appreciate it. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the learning. Some of you have made some really, really good observations. Made some good points. I appreciate that. You can see we're out of the storm now. It snowed a little bit this morning. It rained. Now the snow is melting off. We got water coming down everywhere, which gives me the opportunity to see areas of improvement on the homestead. See, I got water running off of this, coming down here. It's coming into here. Normally that would have washed right through the mill. The water's washing out. I do have some work to do over here. Work to do over here. That ball was up the path. He goes all the way up there. Oh. He does. The water's washing through here. It's not going down anymore. It's washing this way.
Yeah.
And then it's going off the end. I need to do some work here.
We're having Chinese for dinner.
All right. And then we only got half the water that's coming down here. So you see all the Madrone. Get the opportunity, and you can get your hands on it. It's great, great. I mean, I don't know if you can get it. You're not going to be able to get enough of it to heat with, but get enough to smoke some barbecue with. Again, unbelievable. Like, subscribe. We really appreciate it. And make sure you're living your best life. I can tell you this is an unbelievable life. I wouldn't trade this in for the world. You know, a lot of work, but look out for the future episode. God bless. God bless.